Hi guys, today I wanted to do a tag video. A couple of months ago my friend Amelia did a response to a video that I made called the life update video, and she kind of just expanded upon some of the topics that were discussed in that video, and today I'm going to do something similar. I want to expand on some stuff that Amelia recently made in a video about the topic of introverts and HSP, which stands for highly sensitive person. I watched her video recently, and I'd heard about HSP before, but I never really looked into it at all. I know that she mentioned that Susan Cain, you know, she's an author and she wrote the book Power of Introverts, which I've been meaning to get a hold of for a while and read because I watched her TED Talk 2 years ago and was very deeply touched by what she spoke about and felt like it really spoke to me as an introvert and kind of how introverts can be powerful people and to recognize the power of introverts. Anyways, in this book she has a section where she talks about HSP, which stands for highly sensitive person. And in Amelia's video she kind of discusses you know, how it relates to her. And so today I'm going to do the same thing. I just took the test this past week, and so forgive me, it's a new topic for me. I'm learning. I took the test and scored very high on it, very positive for HSP. I answered yes to most of the questions, which I was very surprised in answering it because, like I said, I never heard it, really looked into this before, and I didn't really know what it was. Now, whether or not HSP is really valid, I have no idea. Like I said, I'm just looking into this. I don't know how valid it is. I don't know if it's been scientifically tested. I'm not really sure if it has. So how much truth to it there is, I don't know. But I was just very intrigued because I answered yes to so many of the questions. I was like, okay, well, what is this? And why am I answering yes to most of these questions? So in today's video, I'm basically just gonna go over how it relates to me, some of the questions they ask and how it actually plays out in my life, and see if any other types can relate. I know that I think any type can have HSP, but I think the types that tend to have it that I read about are ENFJs, INFJs, and INFPs tend to be susceptible to HSP. But of course any person can be. So yeah, I'm just going to go over some ways that it plays out in my life and how it's affected my life, you know, being a highly sensitive person and what that looks like today. So I'm just going to quickly read a basic definition of HSP. Highly sensitive person is a person having the innate trait of high sensory processing sensitivity, originally coined by Carl Jung. Some common signs are sensitivity to loud noises, bright or fluorescent lights, strong smells. HSPs often describe themselves as having a rich and complex inner life. They may startle easily and get rattled when required to accomplish a lot in a short time. So true. According to Elaine N. Aaron and colleagues, as well as other researchers, highly sensitive people who compose about a fifth of the population, equal numbers in men and women, may process sensory data much more deeply and thoroughly due to biological difference in their nervous systems. This is a specific trait with key consequences for how we view people that in the past has often been confused with innate shyness, social anxiety problems, inhibitedness, social phobia, and innate fearfulness and introversion. This trait is measured using the HSP scale, which has been demonstrated to have both internal and external validity. Although the term is primarily used to describe humans, something similar to the trait is present in over 100 other species. But yeah, so when I was watching Amelia's video, I was laughing because everything she said, I was like, yep, that's me, that's how I am. And it was so funny. I mean, all the things she was discussing, which I'll link her video down below along with the TED Talk as well and the book. I was just like, it was like listening to myself. So I'm going to read over some of these questions. I have them on my phone and just kind of expand on them. Literally, I answered yes to almost all of them, so I don't have time to go over all of them, but I'll go over some ones that actually stood out to me and how they affect my life. The biggest one they asked, do you make a point of avoiding violent movies and TV shows? This is so true for me. I cannot watch any violence. It's actually quite embarrassing. It's not something that I even really like to talk about because, like, whenever there's a TV show on with, like, even just very minimal violence, I actually have to leave the room. My family knows this about me. If they have something on TV that has violence, I actually will start to feel physically ill, and I'll have to leave the room and go upstairs. And it's really frustrating because there's movies that I want to watch that are excellent films that have violence in them, and they're still, like, I want to be able to watch them, but I can't. I've been like this ever since I was little. If there was any kind of bullying in a TV show or any kind of simply someone punching someone, I would start to feel really anxious, sick, my palms would get sweaty, I'd have to close my eyes, and I'd have to leave the room. So I just know that if a movie has any kind of violence in it, I can't go see it. It's, like I said, I find it frustrating. I don't wish that I have this because it's annoying. But I've always been that way, and you know, sometimes people will actually make fun of me for it, like, gosh, you're such a wimp, you can't watch any kind of violence, and it's the truth. But so when they asked this question, I was like, oh gosh, that is so me. Another question that was asked, are you easily overwhelmed by things such as bright lights, strong smells, coarse fabrics, or sirens nearby? Yes, yes, yes. I'm really sensitive to lighting. I never thought much of it till I read this test, but I can't be in rooms with fluorescent lighting. It irritates me to the max. Like, I will feel ill. And there's some fluorescent lighting in my dad's office, and every time I go to work with him, the lighting bugs me like crazy, and I always feel very drained when I come home. And about a year into working, I realized that it was the lighting that was irritating me so much, because I would go into work and I'd feel really anxious, and I realized that it was the lights. Also, I'm very sensitive to fabrics. When I go to hotel rooms, I'm actually allergic to the pillows, so I have to bring a towel over the pillow, because if not, my skin will break out in a rash. I don't know if it's the bleach they use in the fabric, but I'm super, super irritated towards it. Do you get rattled when you have a short amount of time to do something? Yes. When I have pressure to do something in a short amount of time, I get really bad anxiety. If it's something that's my own that only affects me, I'm usually okay, but if it's like an assignment or a deadline, I get very frantic. Do you make it a high priority to arrange your life to avoid upsetting or overstimulating situations? I do this. I've gotten better about this because I want to enjoy life, and I want to step out and do things, and I want to go on adventures, and I don't always want to worry. So I've been kind of pushing myself in this area, but growing up, I would avoid things like that. Do you enjoy delicate or fine scents, taste, sounds, or works of art? Very much do. That's some of my favorite things. I'm also kind of a food snob, and I hate to admit it, but I am. I'm really into health, and I like really high quality food. I eat almost all organic food, and I eat very healthy, and I'm really sensitive to foods. Like, I can't eat crappy food. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot more. I don't know, like, if I read all these off, it would just take so much of you guys' time. Yeah, I'll read off a couple more. Other people's moods affect me. I mean, of course, yes. I don't know if that has so much to do with HSP, or it has to do with being an INFJ, because, you know, extroverted feeling. Everyone's mood affects me all the time, and that's why I often need to retreat. I think that's why introverts, they need to retreat, because if they're an FE user paired with an I, they're going to need to go away to process all those feelings. They're taking in everyone's emotions. So yes, one of the answers that I did not relate to was, do you tend to be very sensitive to pain? I am also not very sensitive to pain. I actually feel like I have a very high pain tolerance. Amelia said that too in her video, and I'm the same way. That's one of the questions that I can't relate to. I find myself needing to withdraw during busy days into a bed or into a dark room, or any place where I can have some privacy and relief from stimulation. Yes, I do this all the time, quite often. Sometimes when I come home from work, I will just lay in my bed with no sound for an hour to just kind of get relief from all the, you know, the stimulation and the environment that I had been in throughout the day. Let's see what else here. My nervous system sometimes feels frazzled that I have to go off by myself. Yes, this definitely happens to me. I am bothered by intense stimuli, like not loud noises or chaotic scenes. Yes, very much so. It's interesting because with these questions, it sounds just like it's describing a lot of introverts. But there are things that stick out to me that are maybe different from other introverts. So yeah, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to introduce this topic to you. Like I said, I still don't know much about it. I'm still learning. So, you know, there was actually some INFJs that had commented earlier back in my videos saying, I'm an INFJ with HSP. So if you're a personality type and you are HSP, I would love to hear more on this topic. If you'd comment below, or if you'd like to expand more on how it kind of affects your life and what that looks like. Like I said, I don't know how valid this test is or if it's really a thing, but because I answered so much, I was intrigued. So I kind of just wanted to introduce to it and see what you guys think about it. But yeah, that is it for this video today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!